Alec Rome here with a lot of our friends from dynasties past. First, I'm here with Pee Wee Harrison. Pee Wee, why are we here today? And of course, introduce the rest of the group here and who we got.
Well, on the side there, he's known as Shake, but that is the original Ron Parker from the 1973 team, right? Then we got James Dorsey right here, 74. Then my first coach, Coach Staniford, who gave me my first opportunity to play high school basketball. Then you got Daniel Archie right there. He came up after us.
Pee Wee, why are we here today? Why is everybody? It's so glad to have you all back here, by the way, back in the desk. But why did you specifically want to come here today?
Well, you know, I've been going along for about 20 years, and whenever I come back to Central because this is where I got my start. Then I start to think with Shake over here, Mr. Parker, and we said, hey, look, why don't we bring everybody together? Mr. Martin, Coach Staniford, bring us all back together one more time, just for all of us to get on the hardwood floor one more time and walk out there in unity and give these young people opportunity to know about the legacy of Central High School.
That's amazing. I know we're honoring Coach Martin in some way today. I want to go down the line real quick, gentlemen. I'll start over there with Mr. Parker. Just talk to us a little bit about what Coach Martin means to you and what maybe some of the characteristics he had that helped you be a success while you were here and maybe after you left.
Well, the great thing about Coach Martin is at the time we were coming up, there was a large divide as far as diversity was concerned. And Mr. Martin gave us the idea and the principle that said we can do whatever we need to do. We're all focused and playing under one banner, and it didn't matter what the name was on the back of the jersey, because it was actually the name on the front. So we bought into the Central Eagles and just build it and worked and worked. He's an awesome man that we really love and care for.
Absolutely, well said right there.
James Dorsey, I was part of the 74 championship team. And one of the things I remember about Coach Mark was it was all for one and one for all. We went out every day, it was consistent, everyone got along, we were friends from probably grade school, we all played together. So that was a big thing with chemistry.
Right over here, Coach Stanford.
Coach Stanford, Central High School. I had the opportunity to coach. Assistant coach was Coach Martin, and we had a great time, great teams with the guys you see with Parker and with Dorsey here. However, I'd like to add one thing to it. Central High goes back to the 60s with John Naird in 1960. Then in 1968, you had the Rhythm Boys from Central High School. Then you get into the 70s, in 74 and 75, with his 2 state championships. And then with the Archie group in the 80s and the 90s, and along with Coach Barron in the 2000s with state champions. So this is a legacy that Coach Martin has set for Central High School and all its students and athletes. I'm going to pass it on.
Yes, I'm Daniel Archie. I played here in '84. At first, before I see Mr. Dorsey here, I thought it was the smallest pair of players that ever played here. But what that just shows you what kind of coach that Coach Martin is. He gives everybody a chance. And it was guys like this is the reason why I came to Central to play back in the 80s, where we had talented teams just like these guys did, but they just had the chemistry, of course, to win it all. But it's guys like this that set the foundation for guys like me, not only to play here, but also end up going to play college basketball. And Coach Martin was a big part of the reason why I was able to do that.
And did we find John?
Oh, wait a minute. Everybody, the king has got here. He's here. He's here.
John, introduce yourself. Good to see you, man. Alec Rome. Introduce yourself to the people and talk a little bit about what Jim Martin meant to you and the characteristics that you think made him a good coach.
Well, my name is John Johnson, and I graduated in 1975.
Right there.
And a lot of people don't realize the time period we were going through. You know, as a country, we were, coming out of the Vietnam War, race relations, and it was different. With having Mr. Martin being a mentor, he introduced us to his family. He was a man of God. He ran the same offense at Creighton and made it easier on me. but like Mr. Stanford, he was part of the reason I have an opportunity now to say thank you. People like yourself say thank you. I didn't. With no way out. I did this by myself. And it just Mr. Martin, he was a mentor. And I could just thank him for what he did, and the lives that he touched. A lot of people don't realize you molding young minds. Besides being an instructor, a coach, he was a person. He was a real person. Like I said, he introduced us to his family. We rode in the old Wagoneer Cutlass, you know, with the wood panels on the side. You know, it was just, and to me, you know, with Mr. Parker, Mr. Stanford, I'm just this little kid from Horace Mann. It was all new to me. You know, across the street we had I'm on Sacramento King. I mean, the Sacramento Kings across the street. So I was blessed. I really was. Like I said, I couldn't do this by myself. You know, without Mr. Martin and people around me, there's no way you can do this by yourself. I work at Texas Roadhouse, and one of the things that I tell my boss is, I'm a team player, and I've learned that here. Being a person, you know, life hasn't always been the best, but you don't lose the fact that you can't do things by yourself. Thank you, Mr. Martin.
Great job, everybody. It's really nice to be able to hear how, you know, through many different decades, Coach Martin and really all the people, even Coach Stan right here, and all the people you played with, all of them, I'm sure the teachers impacted you and your lives going forward. Talk to me, guys, a little bit. I'm sure you're just walking in and we haven't really been able to see the entire place yet. What is it like to be able to come back in and relive the history that Summer you were a part of? And maybe how is it important that students of today and the kids of today understand the history of this school and how it's impacted so many lives and the Omaha community? If anybody wants to
Go
take
ahead,
it.
Mr. Dorsey.
You know, we just had a 50-year reunion from the '74 championship, and Coach Bigsby gave us a tour, and we actually got goosebumps coming through to see the school and everything that's been done since we were here. And it just brought back a lot of memories, a lot of adrenaline, and it's just one of the greatest places that you can be around.
Well, one of the most important things to me, they can play home games here now. We played at Norris.
Yeah.
Some of you might not remember, we played at Norris, so we never really had a home game. And it's ironic that they're playing West Side tonight because we played West Side, I think it might have been 72. And the gym was so packed that it sold out before the girls' game. And people were standing and they got on top of the building to look through the windows. And I don't know how the fire marshal would close the whole thing down. But it was an amazing opportunity and it's just crazy. So when they get their own gym, I just think how good we would have had our own gyms. You know, that would have been cool.
You know, something that's really interesting when I look at it, because everybody that's up here, and I say this with all humility, I'm the least talented out of all these guys that's here. No, I was the least talented. And you know what? And we talk about John C. John C., you did start it. You started it because we knew that we had to deal with Cornbread and Felici. Then we know we had to have Matoria and Fella. We knew all the guards and everybody that was coming. We knew Ice and John Lewis, you know. We knew all those things. Now, I got mixed up in there somewhere, but then it went to Archie and he took it to another level. So just us being in here tonight, we have not been together ever in the history of the school. We've never been together. This is the first time John C. and I, Daniel, this is the first time we ever been together. And we want to thank Mr. Lotman, the athletic director, for making sure all this stuff was possible. No, we want to make sure because he was really behind us. He said, let's get this going because we want to show our support for the school.
Let me add to that what everybody's echoed. See, all these guys I've coached, and John C. was in the neighborhood off of 30th and Pinckney, and I was at 30th and Emmett. And so I grew up with him and Mike, and grew up with Ron, and followed his career with all the guys here. You know, we have all been all in the neighborhood, and I've been included. So I've had the honor to be around these guys and be around Coach Martin, who coached these guys, and the coaches there that followed him. So thank you guys. You made my day and years. So thank you.
I just want to say once again, it was a pleasure playing there. And like he said, all these guys, we grew up in the same neighborhoods. Me and John C. lived next to each other.
Yeah.
And, you know, just to show the edge of that. But again, we used to have a court right in the middle of our houses. My Uncle Clarence, and it's called Dust Bowl. That's where we learned how to play basketball at, you know. He would have lived down the street from me. You know, I know all of his brothers and all the Parker. Guys, he pretty much recruited me here, but I was coming here anyway. You know, and so it's great coming back here. I do miss the old gym though. The old gym was where we used to have the battles at. That's where we had to split between the girls and the boys and where we practice at. But it was a really fun time, those 3 years that I got to spend here and play. And like I said, having a chance and opportunity. And even now, just waiting my time to get my opportunity where kids sitting, they can't play. I played JV a couple years, suited up varsity my junior year, but I was still happy. But when my senior year came, I was ready to go because, again, a guy like Coach Martin gave me the opportunity, give me the chance to develop. So, yeah, it was great.
Well, guys, I would say we're right over here.
Yeah. Let me say this. I have the opportunity, when we talk about the new facility, I had the opportunity of doing the dedication speech when they opened it. I was really blessed to have it. And like Ron said, back in the days when we played West Side or Creighton Prep, they either had to move the game to Boys Town, UNO, or the City because people couldn't get in. And we're just really blessed. The young people don't realize how blessed they are to have a facility. And my sister was here, she was around, and she was looking at the football field, because she was back there in the 70s, and she was like, ooh, ah. We take things for granted, and this is something that we should, up here, and these young people shouldn't take for granted. And, I'd just like to say thank you. I really appreciate you doing this.
I could definitely play today.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, we only got a couple more minutes, but I feel like everybody, you're already all stretched. I feel like everybody was kind of showing their, stances today, getting ready to go. Talk to us a little bit, basketball in the 2020s versus basketball back then. Do you think you can still take the players up today? And we'll go a couple more minutes here.
With me, I was back then we took pride in playing defense, and I think the 3-point line hurt the game today because people just run down court to the 3-point line. We were taking every opportunity. If we didn't take it on defense, we went and got rebounds, we did things. Now it's a little bit different. For me, I only average 11 points. I might average 33 points.
That's some bold words, man. That's some bold words.
No, I mean, defense does it, man. Defense does it,
Honestly, I'd be a great coach today.
When I was in college, in 1976, the dunk was put back in. I had at least 30 people to come to my room and say, hey, what? We can dunk. Now, the 3-point line, we shot far enough out that we could have made that shot anyway. But to give somebody 3 points for it, I never understood that. And the defense now, no. What your percentages were important to us. If you shot less than 50%, you were just out there gunning, just throwing trash.
To me, the rules have changed. The 3-pointer has changed the game. It's kind of taking the big man out of the gun. It's rare to see a big man in the game of basketball that's effective. I don't think it's a fair comparison. I'm gonna tell you, I don't think it's
That's
fair.
okay. Hey, that's a nice nuanced take. We have people saying they're going to score 33 after 3. You took a nice nuanced take to it.
That's off of defense. I was a defensive guy.
Right.
I understand. You stand right here.
Okay, to add to all this, and see, I can't play today, but see, back in the day, John would come and get me around. Let's go to the gym, coach, I can take you. Well, I was only 25 years old, they did. Now, and to coach guys on that level and coach kids today would be an opportunity for me, for these kids that are dunking and girls are dunking. It's like, wow, didn't happen during those days. So basically, these guys, again, and Coach Archie too, went over to South and had some good success there. These are the guys and Mr. Dorsey, and then his brother Ron, and we can go back a long way. So the history goes back to 1972 when I first got here. So thank you guys. And John, I can't take you today anyway.
Dan, to finish us off here.
All right. Of course I could have played today, no doubt about it. I mean, I was confident.
Me and you in the backcourt together, defensively.
It would have been very, very easy, honestly. And honestly, my coaching style, like you said, I actually coached here a little bit first as a JV coach, and then I went over to South as varsity coach, and I'm doing a lot of AAU stuff. But my coaching style is still based of running people off the 3-point line, pressure defense, old school, getting on kids. So it's been a lot different. A lot of these kids, even out today, it's hard for them to play for me because of how I coach, which is how I grew up learning how to play. But it's a very successful style because all the kids that I coach go to college. So definitely I could have played here, no doubt about it, no doubt.
Love it.
Yep.
Guys, you got to go a game to go watch, but I want to say thank you all for letting us into a little bit of your history, your experience here. It's so great that you guys get to come here and join back up and see each other for the first time and just be back in the building where you had so many memories. It's a really amazing thing. I'm hoping that everybody watched this, got a chance to learn some of that history. Again, thanks so much. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Can we say, everybody yell, love you, Mr. Martin, on 3? 1, 2, 3. Love you, Mr. Martin.
There we go. Boys coming up next. See you in a minute. Thanks, guys.
You know, this guy was my playmaker, point guard, my last year, right?
Yeah.
My last year of coaching. And he was the best leader that I ever had. And he was always over at the bench asking me, Coach, are we doing okay? And I said, well, everybody but you are.
When I came here, you gave me an opportunity, and he was the first, this is the truth, he was the first person that made me believe in myself. And all he wanted, and it made me want to work so hard for him. Whenever I was on the floor, I always wanted to make sure that I worked hard and that he was always pleased, whether we won or we lost. I wanted you to always know that, hey, look, he gave me his best every night.
Yeah.
I never took a night off.
Well, you were good. You were a joy.
In the fall of 1966, he had the opportunity to move to Omaha Central to coach basketball, cross country, and teach math. After 2 seasons as the junior varsity basketball coach, Warren Marquis' head coach resigned and Jim took over as the varsity coach. The transition of leadership coincided with a turbulent time in the nation as the civil rights movement was in full swing. Central High men's basketball was making history with an all-black starting lineup referred to as the Rhythm Boys, who were known for their athletic prowess off the court. By all accounts, they were the pick to win the state championship. However, the city would turn upside down by mid-March when segregationist George Wallace made a campaign stop in his bid for the presidency. His presence released an ugly racial divide that landed Central Star center Dwaine Dillard in jail, and Coach Martin in the middle of trying to maintain peace with his players and community. But this setback would not stop the soaring eagle spirit under his tutelage. Central would go on to experience immense success, playing in several state championships, final games. And in 1974, their tenacity paid off when Central broke through as state champions. They beat Lincoln East in the state final, and Central would go on to repeat the following year with a second championship while beating rival Creighton Prep. These were wonderful times for Jim, and Central was blessed with having several outstanding basketball players during that time, like Calvin and Dennis Forrest, John C. and Michael Johnson, Clayton Bullard, Tim Williams, Michael Ashford, Lee Harris, and many others.
On the behalf of the players for Coach Martin, we're starting a Coach Martin Legacy Sportsmanship Award that we're going to identify students every year that exemplify the character that Coach Martin has taught each and every one of us. So at this time, give the Soaring Eagles a round of applause